Guys, what is the most obvious hint from a girl you've missed? She kissed me and stole the chewing gum out of my mouth and then kept chewing it. But I wasn't sure if she was really interested. Ah. Good old socially awkward younger me. Yeah. You don't want to date a thief. She would invite me over to hang out, make me food, and try to cuddle. I was a dumbass. So she'd cuddle up on you on the couch and you'd just give her the side eye and say thanks for the food and leave. I missed a threesome with my now wife and her best friend when we first met. Her friend said I have great tits. You should feel them, and my wife said yeah, go for it. I didn't cause I was just keen on my wife and wasn't really paying attention to the other girl. She told me about it a couple years later. In college, I was outside a dorm waiting to meet a friend. Girl I sort of knew comes out and tells me how she bought beer because her friend was coming over but then she bailed. And now she's all alone tonight with all this beer. I was just like, yeah. That sucks. Then about an hour later I put it together. She clearly wanted me to help her find someone to share her beer with. Done. Girl invited herself up to my room after we went to dinner and a movie. I thought it was just as friends. She proceeds to lie down in my bed. We're talking and she asks if I'm ticklish and she says if someone blows in my ear I get really turned on. Goes on to start tickling me and it turns into a tickle fight. At one point takes my hand and puts it on her back. She's wearing a crop top. And some other things. I end up doing nothing. Those are some good friends. Going the opposite direction. There was a girl that would constantly need to go help a friend with something every time we were alone together. It took me months to realize I was making her uncomfortable. Months. And a mutual friend telling me to back off. Edit. I never expected to be explaining the old me to so many people. Thank you. It's been therapeutic. I was chatting to this girl, and a guy who I assumed was her boyfriend, for a while. And in the course of the conversation, I made some joke about keeping on the straight and narrow. She leaned in close to me and whispered in my ear, I hope you're straight but not narrow. I just laughed it off. Said welp. See you later and went for another pint. Turns out he wasn't her boyfriend. And I'm an idiot. Girl I liked in high school used to write I love you on the gum wrapper and give it to me. I was so shy and scared to get rejected I never made a move on her, also thought she was joking. She told me after high school that she liked me. I mean, technically she also told you in high school that she liked you. The touching. Laughing and touching my arm. Then she gave me a ride home and I didn't even ask her to come up. You should take me out sometime. I'll never understand these women creatures. Girl had pictures of cats up in her dorm room. She told me she wanted me to rub every PSSY in there. So I did. Except hers. Edit, since this blew up I had a thing for this girl for a long time. The night this occurred, I was a little tipsy. After losing a bet to her and having to clean her bathroom wearing a maid's outfit. She had like 3 pictures of cats up. And I rubbed all 3 of them while she sat there and watched. How many women reads these and realize that many of us men aren't always capable of picking up hints? Problem is if someone told me hey wanna FCK I would think this was a sick joke. My now girlfriend and I were friends for about 4 years before we got together and I had a crush on her literally the entire time. And thought she just wanted a platonic friendship. Once we actually started dating she told me all the times she tried to give me signs to make a move or to show interest and I failed every time. The worst is when she left a sweater in my car so came by to pick it up and had never seen my apartment. I walked her around and showed her the place and she said aren't you going to show me the bedroom? And I said I'm sure I guess. Opened the door without going in and said well that's it and then we went to the living room. She then asked if we could watch a movie in my room. I thought she just knew that's where the Xbox was. And I said no that's okay we can watch it here and went upstairs to get it. I went to buy shoes at the mall once and began asking the girl that gets shoes for you a few questions. Mostly about the shoes I was trying to buy and somehow the conversation got around to When I have kids I hope they don't do this. To which the sales girl responded, yeah, when we have kids. The conversation continued but I left because they didn't have the shoes I wanted in my size. My buddy was with me through the entire transaction and asked me if I'd heard what she said, and I guess I didn't catch it when she said it initially. I think your mind was trying to save you here. Girl you just met talking about the kids you're going to have together. Met a girl at a Ren fair that we were both working at on the weekends. We hit it off pretty well. And when it came time to say goodbye for the season we hugged goodbye. Hug lasted like 10 seconds. Which is about 10 seconds longer than any other hug I've had in a long time. So I started to pull away thinking I was making it last too long. But she pulled me back in and just held me. She then proceeded to kiss my cheek. And stare into my eyes for probably another 15 seconds telling me she didn't want me to go. I laughed it off and told her I'd see her next year. And while my back was turned she came up behind me and jumped on my back. Piggybacking to the parking lot. Said goodbye again. Got home, like 2 hours away. Proceeded to tell myself I was an idiot. Thought she was just being friendly. Edit. Thanks for everyone's positivity on this. These responses made me realize how dumb I was being. And I did find her on Facebook. We messaged each other for a few hours equals. I was into this girl and we had been spending a lot of time together. Just got my first salaried job out of college and so I wasn't as tight on money, so I would offer to pay for meals, drinks when we went out. She started saying thanks. Now I owe you a blowjob. I said oh haha and left it at that. Each meal I paid for it became more intense. I owe you a sloppy blowjob. I owe you the sloppiest blowjob ever. Well at this point it's SX. I never got that blowjob. So you can either watch me shower or wait with my uncle until I'm done. Ended up watching Star Trek for the first time in my life. I don't miss this anymore. But for years I missed the casual flirtatious touch. An unnecessary yet intentional caress on the arm, shoulder, back, etc. can be very telling. I'm sure someone will be here to tell me I'm wrong and they just touch their friends all the time. But it's always been my experience that if a girl is finding an excuse to put her hands on you, there's a pretty good chance she's at least a little interested. My girlfriend still likes to tease me about the time, before we were together, when she put her arm around me and I just stood still and asked her, "Are you okay?" Oh so many missed. But the most obvious was probably when I was out at a pub one night. Suited up as there was a local race day event on. I was standing near the dance floor drinking and had a lass come over to me and start talking, then dragged me to the dance floor. I faux danced. I have no rhythm, a bit, and returned to my spot. This happened again. And at one stage she was so close while talking our foreheads were touching. She asked to see my phone and put her number in. I realized what was going on while I was walking home. So much alcohol drank that day, but still wow. I failed. Shortly after high school ended, this really hot girl told me that she had a crush on me for the entirety of my senior year. My response was basically oh that's nice. Her parents were out of town and we had her entire house to ourselves for the rest of the evening. Could have done it right then and there. You win some. You lose some. I hope I am not missing any with the girl I have a crush on currently. Missed a few hints because I am just oblivious to such things. The most obvious being her inviting me to her home because her parents were away. But I needed to take a crap so badly that I just told her I need to go home. I realized at home while shitting what an idiot move that was. I mean I could have shat at her house. You could have. But a lot of things could have gone wrong. What if you went there and there was no toilet paper and then she wanted to toss your salad? What if you went there, took a dump and it clogged the pipes and the resulting flood caused $20k of water damage to her house? What if you went there and got a turtle head en route and it smidged tea all over your underwear and she wanted to strip you down? Coming to school early and staying late just to talk to me. Maybe she just liked our conversations. She said it was National Feel a Boob Day. Grabbed my hand and put it on her breast. Narrator. It wasn't a hand job. Drove with my regular taxi driver from an odd location I usually don't come from and was a bit drunk. He says he's got another fare too and it's on the way if I didn't mind a small detour and the odd hop in, and I did not. Girl pops in who I haven't seen in years. We had a fun evening once when we were younger but nothing happened. During the drive we catch up a bit, yada yada. We arrive at her place and she asks, don't you gotta get out here too? And I said no, it's fine. He'll drive me home. Bye, and I close the door. She looks weird for a half second and starts walking towards her door. My man turns his head to me and gives me that WTF dude stare. Took me a good 5 seconds until my bulb went bright. Sophomore year HS. I'd occasionally walk with this one girl home because she lived a block away from me. We were both into The Walking Dead and would message each other during each new episode. One day we're texting each other and she literally texts I love you and I reply back lol, did your sister take your phone again? Invited me to walk her home. Just us two. We did that. We got there and she invited me in. We laughed at it. Lots of jokes and stuff. That was it. I eventually found out she liked me weeks later. But the time had passed. I liked her too. Didn't think she liked me. And then BSP. Oh yes. Absolutely. I was one dense mother efker. I give really good blowjobs. Who? This girl, my now girlfriend, and I had been talking for a little while. We were at a party. We casually say hi and don't really chat and go and do our own thing. Minutes later she grabs me by the arm and takes me out into a dark quiet area and goes, okay, I'm going to kiss you now. Or later today. Now you would think that from this point in time it would have been simple. You thought wrong. As she went in for the kiss I wasn't ready. And because I'm so much taller than her I had to kink my neck in a weird position to lean down. Ended up giving her a big hug, not realizing she wanted a kiss. A few seconds later I understood how much of an idiot I am. She gave me her phone number. And I didn't connect the dots for a couple of months. I married her 4 months ago. So, success? When she flashed me her vag for 10 seconds as a goof. 10 whole goddamn seconds? I had an attractive roommate in college for about 4 months. Her dad owned the apartment and I was trying to be good guy roommate and not look at her as anything but a roommate. She used to walk around the apartment in nothing but a bra and panties and one day even came into my room to sit on my bed and talk. I never made a move and believed that she had no interest until I told the woman I eventually married, who I met about halfway through my time living with this roommate, about the situation years later. She laughed at me and told me my roommate wanted me. She asked me to fix her PC, so I went to her house and fixed it. We watched a movie, got playful, then she said, if you stay something will happen. Me. You're right, I should probably go. Do. Edit. I know, stupid me, but at the time we were pretty good friends and I seriously believed it was off the table anyway. I was on a large bike lane where 2 cyclists can bike next to one another. Going quite fast. Lost in my thoughts. Now. There is this girl in front of me. I catch up with her. And start passing her. As we're both riding at pretty good speed. The whole process takes some times. I look at her. She smiles and says something along the lines of wanna race against me? At this moment. I panic quite hard. And as I continue passing her. I decide, okay. Race. I know that word. Let's do this and go full sprinting on this long straight bike lane. Not looking back. Now. The more I'm sprinting. The more I'm starting to realize maybe this wasn't the reaction she hoped for. But hey. Now she must be 100 meters behind me. Thinking of how much of a dick I must be. Not knowing how to come back from this. I just chose to keep going. Feeling very cringy and shitty. Edit. Look. The important thing is that you won.